Guys, ready? Welcome. It's Tip Tuesday, one of my favorite days of the week. If you don't know me, my name is Nikedra Brown, the nurse practitioner who teaches and trains you ways to get and stay healthy. We do this thing on Tuesday called Tip Tuesday, where I come on and give you some education. We talk about a health topic, and I love for you to join me at the virtual space, either live or on replay. So as you come on in, if you're watching this live, you know what to do. Go ahead and put where you're watching from. Put a hello in the comments. If you are watching on replay, make sure you put hashtag replay so that I'll be able to see that you watched. Now, if you tuned in on last week, you know when I was here on last week, I had a raspy kind of voice, right? It's not back together really now. But it was totally raspy the last time I saw you. And in between last week and today, this time, I have gone through the ringer with my respiratory system. So I am almost back to 100%. But I wanted to hop on today and talk about your immune system because it's the fall season. Yes, I love fall time of year. Welcome. I see y'all tuning in. Hi. I love the fall time of year, but with the fall time of year comes cough, cold, congestion, strep throat, viruses, ear infections, pneumonia, COVID, and all the stuff, right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about a few of those things because I figure y'all need to know. If I need to know, y'all need to know. So let's talk about what is the first sign that you get that your upper respiratory system is getting ready to defy you. What happens first? If you were here last week, I told you I had a itchy, scratchy throat. My voice was coming in and out. What is one of those first things that happens to you that is a sign and you say, something is going on with my system. I'm getting ready to quote unquote come down with something. Welcome. Welcome, y'all. It's Tip Tuesday. Hop on in, hop on in. What's one of the first things that happens to you? Many people get many different things, but we're going to talk about why your immune system may mount different responses, why it is that your immune system actually shows up for you. Do you recognize that your immune system is an amazing system? It is a system because it is a collection of things that happens in your body. Your immune system is not just in isolation. So when we say your immune system, we're talking about lots of things that have to come into play in your system and in your body in order for your immune system to take effect. So if your immune system wasn't out running for you, you'd be sick all the time. Every little thing would make you sick. Every little thing you touch, everything you inhale, everybody you're around. So your immune system really comes into play for you when you least expect it. So I always tell people though, you want to make sure you are taking care of your immune system before so that when you really need your immune system, it can come into play. So I didn't see anybody that told me what the first signs that they get for upper respiratory type stuff is. So let's talk about it. Well, tell me this, is this true or is this false? Does your immune system decrease as you get older? Does your immune system decrease as you get older? Is that statement true or is that statement false? Your immune system decreases, meaning it works less as you get older. Is that true or is that false? Now, typically for me, going back to signs that upper respiratory stuff is going on, I'll get a scratchy throat, I'll get a little bit of congestion. And then after that, there may be some postnasal drainage. There may be some headaches. There may be some cough. All that is indicative that something upper respiratory is going on. Upper respiratory generally means it's from here up, right? People say it's all in your head. That's an upper respiratory type infection. Now, there are many different things that can cause this. Viruses are like hundreds and thousands of them. There's no way that we can possibly put a name on all the viruses, but y'all know what you do when you come to the office. You want to know exactly what virus it is. What is it that I have? What is it that I'm coming down with? Just like, we can pull out of a magic hat and say, you got this virus or you got that virus. There are some things that we do have viral names for, right? Some of them we know the names for, and some of them we don't. The common cold has many different types of virus. Commonly, the rhinovirus is what causes it. However, we don't know the names of all the viruses that can give you upper respiratory infections. We know the names of major ones, right? And so the other thing is that viral infections are not cured by antibiotics. Hey, Barbara, welcome. Viral infections. Let me hear you. Let me hear you say this. Put this in the comments. Send this to your neighbor. Viral infections are not cured by antibiotics. One more time. Viral infections are not cured by antibiotics because what y'all do is when you get this itchy throat, this runny nose, this cough, this congestion in your ear, you call me. You send a message on my chart. You talk to my nurse and you say, I want her to send me an antibiotic. And my question to you is, well, what have you done to help your immune system? What have you done for the symptoms? And the response is nothing. Nothing, my dear. So you want to go from doing nothing to get an antibiotic. You want to go from being congested and coughing and sneezing and aching and doing nothing to getting an antibiotic. That's not how this works. Because at the first sign of the symptom, that's why I ask y'all, what symptoms do you have? At the first sign of symptoms, you can go ahead and help your immune system out. It's doing an amazing job for you every day. Why is it that you don't want to give it a little boost? Why is it that you don't want to help it out? But yet you want to take antibiotics without doing anything else, without using a neti pot. If you watched me over the past week, you saw a post of a neti pot. Neti pots are helpful for sinus inflammation, for drainage, for nasal congestion without using your neti pot. You want an antibiotic without using any essential oils that may be helpful to inhale in and open up your respiratory system. You want an antibiotic without using your Vicks Vapor Rub and your humidifier that you can put in your room. You want an antibiotic without using some Tylenol and ibuprofen for your aches and your fever that you may have. You want an antibiotic before you just rest. Get some chicken noodle soup. You want an antibiotic before you try all those other things. You're going to go from zero to an antibiotic. So if you know nothing else from today, help me say viral infections are not cured by antibiotics. Now, what will happen is that sometimes you will get a viral infection, and that viral infection can sometimes manifest or turn into something that's bacterial. But it didn't start out bacteria. And I know, because I hear it all the time. Patient comes in. This is how I always start out. I know what I'm going to need. And I tell y'all know your bodies better than I do. You know your bodies well. I'm not disputing that. But what I am disputing is if you know this happens at the same time every year, this is what your body does all the time. What I'm asking is that before you get to this space, when you feel that first symptom that you say, I feel it coming on, what I am going to do different is I am going to do X, Y, and Z. I am going to take these different channels so that I don't lend to the place where I always end up, which is needing an antibiotic, because that is typically not your first line. Most of these things that go around are viral infections. They happen because it's just that time of year. Our immune systems are overloaded. You know, we shake hands, we're around people at work, you're around people at school, you're around people at church, you're around people wherever it is that you go, and your immune systems are simply just overloaded. Hand washing, we cannot say it enough. Hand washing, we washed our hands more than ever before. Once COVID came through, you know, the 20-second rule to wash your hands, it is not gone. The hand washing rule, because COVID is on the decrease, has not left. We still need to wash our hands. Hand washing is the single most effective way at reducing viral infections. The single most effective way is to hand wash and to keep your hands out of your face. How do you think viruses enter your body? How y'all think they get into your body? You think they just crawl through your skin? No, they're entering your body through an open orifice. Those open orifices are your eyes, are your nose, and your mouth, otherwise known as your T zone. Your T zone, which is why mask wearing and goggle wearing in the pandemic was most effective, because you covered your T zone. That means things could not get in. And so, if you're trying to keep yourself away from the viruses that are still lingering, you want to make sure your T-zone is covered. If you are just tuning in, it is Tip Tuesday. Welcome to those who are watching. Make sure you share this on your news feed. We're having an amazing conversation about upper respiratory infections because I am straight off of one. Since y'all saw me last week, I have gone through the gamut of sore throat, congestion, runny nose, cough, the works, right? It did not require antibiotic because it was what? It was a viral infection. My immune system and my body had to fight it off. So I wanted to talk to y'all today because y'all call in for antibiotics all the time and you have done nothing. You have done no pre-work. You have done nothing to help your immune system out. You have done nothing. And antibiotics are not the answer for viral infections. Let that be the first thing you let people know. The next thing I wanted to tell y'all is how you're going to increase your immune system. So people tell me all the time, or ask me all the time, what are some things that you can do to increase your immune system? Because, like I said, you want your immune system to be relatively strong so that when you come around something, it can build up a response for you. Now, I had a event over this past week, but if you think about where I work and what I do, I'm around sick people a lot, right? My immune system is mounting a response for me a lot. And so to have one episode did require antibiotics, just required rest. It requires some symptom management, some medications, and some treatments. That's a good deal, right? So welcome. So tell me, let's talk about little children. Let's talk about little people. So I asked y'all earlier if you thought your immune system decreased as you get older. I saw one false in the comment. Put in the comments if you didn't already. Do you think your immune system decreases as you get older? Is that true or is that false? That your immune system decreases as you get older? Because let's talk about some ways that you can help your immune system stay strong. We're going to count down. Number five. The number five way you can keep your immune system strong, and y'all put these in the comments, is to limit your stress. We talk about stress all the time. We talk about stress in any number of things that makes your body have to work harder. Stress is one of the things that's going to increase your immune response because it sets off so much that your body has to contend with on the backside. So you want to limit your stress. You can have stress that you know about, and you can have stresses that you don't know about. But those things that you know about and they're stressing you out, they're also decreasing your immune system. You may not feel any different because your immune system, again, is constantly working on the backside. You don't know what dangers your immune system is protecting you against. It's almost like the Lord, right? We don't know what dangers, hurt, and harm that He is protecting us from. Just like your immune system. Your immune system is out protecting you from lots of dangers. And so stress is one of those things that will make your immune system go down. So you want to make sure you limit your stressors, those things you know about, those things you may not know about. Next thing you want to do is eat your fruit and vegetables. I know. We live in a fast food type of world. Welcome for those who are just tuning in. We're talking about immune system and how you're going to help your immune system mount an effective response, and how if you take nothing away, antibiotics are not for viral illnesses. I tell y'all this every year. They are not for viral illnesses. The next thing after you reduce your stress is you want to eat fresh fruit and vegetables. Fresh fruit and vegetables. I'm not talking about vegetables that you have cooked and fried and dyed and taken all the nutrients and minerals out of it. I'm talking about fresh fruit and vegetables that your body can get those minerals, those nutrients that they need. Fresh fruit and vegetables. We live in a fast food world. I get it. I know the fried chicken, the Popeyes, they're building the Popeyes on every corner. It seems like the French fries are so appealing. Is that a fresh fruit or vegetable? It is not. I know the McDonald's, I know the Burger Kings, I know the Subways. Any number of things are there because they're fast, they're easy, we're tired. There's a bunch of stuff that we have to do. We're overworked, there's not enough hours in the day. We haven't cooked. But I'm telling you, your immune system thrives off of fresh fruit and vegetables. And so if you want your immune system to be able to mount up a response and you are eating fries every day and Popeyes and Cookouts and McDonald's and Taco Bell, think again. You've got to give your immune system goodness in order for it to produce goodness. How can you expect goodness from your immune system when you're putting junk into it? So welcome, it's Tip Tuesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are watching here live and on replay, we're talking about immune system, partly because my immune system mounted a big response for me in the past week as I am overcoming this upper respiratory stuff that I had over the past week. Thankfully, it's on the downward side and I am back feeling about 90%ish. But wanted to talk to you all about ways to get your immune system mounted before something actually happens. So you want to mount these responses to your immune system before you actually need your immune system. I already told you it's kicking in for you each and every day. So you want to make sure that you limit your stress, you eat your fruit and vegetables. The next one is vitamins. So people ask all the time, what kind of vitamins can I take or should I take? Vitamins are helpful for your immune system. Especially if you know you're not getting enough in your fruit and vegetables, you want to at least be taking a multivitamin. There are other supplements and vitamins that you may need to take based on some labs that can be drawn, based on what you know you don't get enough of. For illnesses purposes, magnesium, zinc, vitamin C, those things typically are what you need to help build an immune response. So you want to make sure that you are getting some vitamins. Most of the time now they're labeled vitamins that help to boost your immune system. You got to be careful because I always tell y'all the makers of labels lie. And when you look at labels, it will tell you that it's for an immune response. However, you look on the back of one label and you look on the back of a multivitamin label, and it's essentially the same. They just want you to buy the one that says that it's going to increase your immune response. It may have a little bit more vitamin C in it, but do your due diligence. Look at the back of your labels. See what you're actually getting when you get these vitamins. But again, vitamins can be helpful this time of year, especially because people tend to decrease in what they eat sometimes in the winter months because you don't want to cook. I don't get it. People don't want to cook in the summer because it's hot. You don't want to cook in the winter because it's cold. What is going on with this time change? How are y'all loving this time change? We just had a fall back hour, so we are officially back in daylight savings time. And so your body has to get used to getting this new time. So that's a stressor, as we talked about stress. That's a stressor on the body that you can't control. You can't control that the time goes back, right? But what you can control is going to bed at a different time so that your body gets adequate rest. What you can control is trying to make your body adjust to the things that you have to do in your day's time so that you can adjust properly to the time change. You can't change that the time change. We can't help that. But what you can help are the activities that you do in a day's time so that you adjust. And just by the time you get adjusted to this time change, it'll be what? It'll be time to change back again. All right, so number 5 on the countdown was decreasing stress. Number 4 was decreasing your fruit and vegetables. Number 3 was to make sure you had a good vitamin. And number 2 on the countdown are immunizations. What type of immunizations are you all getting in the fall season? Let's hear them in the comments. What type of immunizations are you getting in the fall season? I am not here to debate whether or not you should or should not take immunizations. If you're somebody who happens to take them, please, please, please put on the list what immunizations you take in the fall. Most commonly in the fall, flu season. So it's flu vaccine season. You only need a flu vaccine during flu season. We are getting ready to see an increase in the flu. For the past couple of years, we have not seen a lot of flu because people were masked up. Now, in the height of pandemic, we saw very little flu because people were wearing a mask covering that T-zone, right? And so there was no entry portal for COVID or the flu. But as people are starting to wear masks less, you will see the flu numbers start to increase. So flu vaccine. If you get a flu vaccine, you can put that in the comment, pat yourself on the back. If you get a flu vaccine, there are COVID vaccines, there's COVID booster. I know some of you gotten your COVID initial shots. COVID now has a booster because like flu, they're both viral, right? Flu is a virus, COVID is a virus. Viruses are super, super smart. They're much smarter than we are. What happens is they mutate. And so they change a little bit. I always explain that it's like a car, the same type of car. So the car that you bought 5 years ago, you loved it 5 years ago. It was the best thing since sliced bread 5 years ago. If you look at that same type of car today, they've changed it. They've changed either the body style, they've changed the lights, they've changed the interior, they've changed something on it, right? And so that's what the flu does. Every year it has little bit of tweaks. And so when it gets that little bit of tweaks, that vaccine that you took 5 years ago is not the same vaccine that's a match. And so you have to keep getting the vaccine every year because you want your immune system to recognize the flu when it sees it. Now, I get this every year. If I get the flu vaccine, am I going to get the flu? We don't know because we don't know if you're going to be around somebody with the flu. You only get the flu if you're exposed to the flu. So if you're not exposed to the flu, guess what? You're not going to get the flu. So you're taking the flu vaccine if you are at increased exposure, risk for exposure to getting the flu. You're only going to get the flu if you're exposed to the flu. Now, many people will say, I don't go outside my home. I don't travel. I don't really go out to the mall or shop. Well, answer me this. Do people come and see you? Do you have visitors? Do you have guests? Do you have friends? Do you go to church? Because all these people and places are potentials where the flu and COVID can lie. So when you get your vaccine, sometimes you are protecting yourself, but you're also protecting others, especially if there are babies and children around who cannot get immunizations. You may be protecting them as well. So your immunizations will help your immune system because your immune system won't have to mount as great a response once it sees flu. It already recognizes it and you won't even know. Now, if you got a flu shot and you're around flu and you don't get the flu, you won't ever know it. But if you get a flu shot and you're around flu and you get the flu, people will say, oh, I got the flu shot and I still got the flu. Well, guess what? Think of how many times you could have been around the flu and you didn't get the flu. You just don't know it because your immune system worked, right? And so think of it in that manner. So number 2 is going to be your immunizations. Number 1 reason why, or the number 1 thing we have to do to protect our immune system is you got to take care of yourself. Y'all, we got to do a better job at taking care of ourselves. That's a pause moment. We got to do a better job at taking care of ourselves. It's so many other things, so many other people, so many other places, so many other things that we dedicate our time to, and we neglect at the end of the day ourselves. We don't sleep. We're eating out. We haven't gotten our immunizations. We haven't scheduled our appointment because we're too busy getting our children and our work schedules and all these things into play. And we don't take time to do the things that we need to do. If you don't take immunizations, what is it that you're doing to boost your immune system? Because immunizations in and of itself is not the answer. You still have to do some of these other things to make sure your immune system mounts a response. You still have to do some of these other things to get in front and to help your immune system out. So how are you going to do that? You got to go to sleep. Time changed. I know it seems like a long night. You laying there, you looking up at the ceiling, you tapping your finger. You're saying, I'm not sleeping. Who is it happening to? I know it's somebody. But y'all got to go to sleep. Turn off electronics. Turn off your TV. Let your minds rest. You have to go to sleep. You can retrain your body to sleep. You remember a newborn baby? Many of you had children. Many of you trained your children. Many of you trained your children to go to sleep and they were on a schedule. How come we don't put ourselves on a schedule? Oh, I might go to bed at this time. I might go to bed when this show goes off. I might go to bed after the news, I might go to bed here and there. You don't have yourself on a schedule, and then you wonder why the next day you don't feel good. You wonder why every little thing you're around, you're exposed to, you get sick because you're not on the schedule. Your immune system doesn't know what you're doing. If you are just tuning in, it's Tip Tuesday. Welcome to my favorite day of the week. We are talking about immune system and how you can make sure to mount an immune system this fall during cough, cold, COVID, flu, sinus, allergy season. So some ways that you can make sure you mount that response is you decrease your stress, you eat your fruit and vegetables, you take your vitamins, you get your immunizations, and you take care of yourself. You got to sleep. You got to eat right. We already talked about that. Time out for eating junk. Your body does not like junk. Junk in produces junk out. I'm not saying you got to be 100% fruit, vegetables, and pure all the time. What I'm saying, if you examine your diet and you examine the things that you eat, and if more than 50% of the time it's junk, Your immune system is mounting a junky response. Your immune system is full of junk. How can it produce health and wellness if it's full of junk? And next thing is chronic conditions. So under this take care of yourself, you have to make sure your chronic conditions are under control. You cannot have uncontrolled high blood pressure. You cannot be an uncontrolled diabetic. Your thyroid levels can't be up and down and all around and expect your immune system to be able to mount a response. It cannot, because it's too busy trying to keep you alive. It's too busy trying to keep your heart functioning. It's too busy trying to keep your lungs functioning. It's too busy trying to do the other things that your immune system is tired. We want to help take the hard and heavy work off of the immune system by controlling the things that we can control. Some things we can control, some things we cannot. But we want to control the things that we can control to help our immune systems out. And we can do it. There's so many things that we can do. Do you know that respiratory illnesses are the leading cause of death for people age 65 and over? One more time. Respiratory illnesses, flu, COVID, is one of the leading causes of death for those who are over the ages of 65. So if you responded that your immune system does decrease as you get older, there is some truth to that. There is some truth to it, because as we get older, we also stop doing certain things. We're not as active. We just eat here and there because we're the only ones at home, and you don't cook like you're supposed to, right? You don't get exercise. You're not taking vitamins. You haven't scheduled your immunizations. So a lot of times your immune system, as you get older, it decreases because we aren't doing certain things to keep it going. There is a high dose flu vaccine for those who get flu vaccines. The high dose flu vaccine is recommended for those who are 65 years and older. That is because it takes your immune system a little bit longer to mount the response. You want to give your flu shots about 2 weeks for it to build in your system. So people do it all the time. They're around somebody who has the flu. They come rushing into the office. Oh, I need my flu shot. I can give it to you, but it's going to take 2 weeks to start working. Some people less, some people more. But here, more or less about 2 weeks. So you want to make sure that you get your immune system get your shot in your system. Oh my, so flu is going around, and 9 months is super young to have the flu. At 9 months, you do want to be concerned with a gamut of things. RSV is another viral illness. So it's definitely going around. So take these tips to help your immune system mount the response. Make sure you are doing what you need to do for your own immune system. I can't help your immune system out. You got to do it for yourself. Your sister, your husband, your brother, your uncle, your cousin can't help your immune system mount a response. You have to do it for yourself, right? Eating junk in is not going to produce junk out. It's going to produce junk out. When you ingest and intake junk into your body, it's going to produce junk that your immune system lets out. And so when you're trying to figure out, why am I staying sick all the time? Why am I not feeling well? What's going on? My body is struggling. Take a look at what you're putting into your system. We got to feed our bodies good things in order for it to produce good things. That's in anything, all right? We got to give our bodies goodness in order for it to produce goodness. All right, y'all, it's been Tip Tuesday. Hope you have an amazing rest of the day. Go back and scroll through. You'll see some shorts. I'm trying to do some short videos to give y'all some education so that you can stay updated and we can stay in contact. So hope to see you all on next week. Have an amazing rest of your week. Bye-bye.